Hey guys, welcome back to Pascack Valley Forage and Farm. Today is March 11th. It's 2 months to Mother's Day. You know what that means. It's time to get our tomatoes started. So I'm down here in my basement and I've got everything set up to start my tomato seeds. Today I'm going to be planting 7 different types of tomato seeds. Okay, I've got my Sweetheart Cherry, my Sunrise Bumblebee, of course my Martino's Roma, Jersey Devil, because what else would a Jersey boy be planting? Got my Cherokee Purple, Brandywine, and Mortgage Lifter. All these seeds are from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. Highly recommend. So when I plant my tomatoes, I like to plant them into a bigger container. I know a lot of people, they start them in the smaller cells and then plant them up as they get bigger, and that's fine, especially if you're strapped for space and you need to start them smaller. And then, you know, once the weather gets warmer, you can kind of move them to a more outdoorsy type of spot. I have the room to plant them inside under the grow lights and keep them here till they're ready to go out. So I like to plant them in a larger container, okay? Put them in here. This way they just grow until it's time to put them out in the garden so the roots don't get disturbed at all by moving them around or anything like that. But when I'm filling these up with soil, I fill it up about 2/3 of the way with a more richer soil mix and then top it off with a seedling mix, a more looser seedling mix. So for the bottom, I use this Master Nursery bumper crop mix, all right? And it's got all kinds of good stuff in it. Worm castings, lobster crab shells, kelp meal, you know, sphagnum peat moss, compost, all kinds of good stuff in here, all right, that the plant is really going to want. And I top it off with this Sungrow Black Gold seedling mix. The idea for doing that, the idea behind it is I like to top it off with that seedling mix so that there's no large chunks of anything that could prevent the seedling from sprouting. It's nice and loose, so as the roots initially get going, they can easily reach out into the soil. And then as the roots move down in the soil, they get into that richer, composty type of soil that has a lot more nutrients in it. And then they can really start to take off, and it's got everything that plant is going to want to really take off and thrive. All right, and now I just make myself a little hole in the soil, somewhere between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch deep. Take my seeds. All right, and when you do this, don't just put one seed in per hole, all right? I like to do 2 or 3. 2 or 3 per hole, all right? All right, the reason behind putting multiple seeds per hole is that it's going to give you basically 100% germination rate. Because instead of just putting one seed in there and maybe it's a bum seed or something went wrong and that one doesn't sprout, there's 2 others in there. So the likelihood of all 3 of them not sprouting is pretty low. So by doing this, we basically guarantee that every container we plant is going to sprout a tomato plant. All right, and then what I like to do is I like to just take some more seedling mix and I just sprinkle it into the hole to cover those seeds. And then I just water that in. All right, just to make sure the soil compresses around the seed to just maximize the chances of germination. All right, and now we got the seeds in. Now what's left to do is just mark the container. Some people like to use those little flags or the plastic tabs that you stick in the soil, and that's fine if that's what you want to use. I use just a roll of painter's tape and a Sharpie because that's just what I had when I started doing this, so it just became my system. I'm just going to write the name, the brand of the tomato on there and the date that I planted it, and that's it. All right, so there we go. This one is marked. It's a Mortgage Lifter planted on March 11th. The reason to mark them is A, you want to know which variety you've got where, and you want to put the date that you planted it on there because you want to know whether or not it should have germinated by now and should have sprouted. Tomatoes are typically 7 to 14 days. You know, give or take. Sometimes it's sooner, sometimes it's a little later. But if you plant tomatoes and you're going on 3.5 weeks and nothing has popped up, you've got another problem, all right? And you're probably going to have to start another one. But that's why you need to know what day you planted it. All right, so that's one down. Now I'm just going to finish the rest of these, and I'll tell you what we do after that once I'm done. All right, so now I got all my tomatoes planted. So now I'm going to take them over. I'm going to put them underneath some of the grow lights. All right, so we've got our tomato plants here under the grow lights. We've also got some heat mats down. That's going to raise the temperature of the soil, which is just going to speed up the germination process for us. So now it's just a matter of keeping the soil damp, keep them under the lights, the heat mats, and you know, in about a week or so, we should start seeing them sprout. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you find some time to, you know, get out either into your garden or wherever it is you start your seeds and just start getting some plants going. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, share this around with your friends, and, you know, keep checking back for more content, and we'll see you for the next video.